this is Stephanie and Larry, and we are
Geezers driving an EV.
And it's really early in the morning. It's 7:30 a.m.
That's very early for Stephanie.
It's so early, and I've had a sip of coffee, and that's it. So I'm not sure what I am saying, but I am excited about our big trip to California in Anderson, our trusty electric ID4 electric vehicle.
This is our first serious road trip. First time we really have to rely on DC fast chargers to get us where we want to go.
Are you worried about that, Larry?
Yes.
As we get older, we get more anxious about things.
It's true.
So hopefully this trip will reassure other fellow geezers and geezettes and other types of geese people that that this is doable for older people.
You remember when we would travel in Europe when we were young?
Yep.
We'd take a train, we'd look out the window, we'd say, that looks like a nice place. We'd get out and find a hotel room.
Yeah, we just take our chances.
Now, we spend a day on Yelp and TripAdvisor just to find a La Quinta.
2 ferries are running rather than one.
That would be good.
Because there's been a sick out, I guess, because of sort of COVID.
Anti-COVID health protest.
Yeah. So, but the 2 ferries are running, so that's cool. So we're on the ferry, sitting behind a truck with a big bunch of wood on it, but of course this is the Pacific Northwest where logging absolutely happens, and we are heading to the mainland.
And noticing in this first portion of our drive, 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is right on 250 mile range, but not as good as we got when the weather was warmer.
Oh, interesting. And I like the ferry because the ferry has a bathroom.
So what was it that Queen Victoria said?
You never refuse a seat or a toilet. A chair or a toilet.
Wise words.
A tongue travel production. Baby, make if you want to, 'cause you're safe with me, so just stay with me home. Every day is like a holiday. Sleeping if you want it. Relax, unwind and kick back. So broken, yet I noticed in the weight of the world got you hopeless. Nothing's greater, nothing's better. You just sit and you wait to come home. You got the fire in your hand, but the world's to the melting, spreading the blood to feel paralyzed. No more worries, let's get settled, baby. Lay here if you want to, 'cause you're safe with me, so just stay with me home. Every day is like a holiday. Sleeping if you want it. Relax, unwind and kick back, baby. Kick back, baby. Kick back,
New. So here we are at our first charging station stop. This is Tukwila near the airport, and we're just doing a quick charge and of course getting breakfast from Starbucks. Starbucks people always tend to be very, very nice, which I appreciate.
And this charging session is going beautifully so far. Obviously we are not shredding this charge, but we're getting what we asked for. About a little over 40 kilowatts. That is not bad at all, given the fact that we came in with a 70% state of charge. This is a nice charging station. 5 chargers, all appear to be working. A Starbucks close by. What a beautiful day. trip could not be starting out any better.
So it's 9:45 and I've had a breakfast that couldn't be beat, and I've had working on my second cup of coffee, so I'm a whole new person and am excited for the rest of the day. So how's it going? How are you liking driving Anderson?
Anderson is outstanding.
And we had some traffic. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go right ahead.
We had some traffic earlier on, surprise, around Seattle, and surprise again around the airport.
And around Tacoma.
Right. And how did Anderson do?
Anderson was fine. I'm finding that the ID4 has a couple of systems that you could use for assisted driving. One of them is called Travel Assist, where you can set it up so that the car basically steers itself and stays in the lane.
Yeah, but you didn't just use that, did you? You used something else?
I also used the adaptive cruise control.
Right. And you've really liked that in traffic situations.
The adaptive cruise control I love because in stop and go traffic, it will actually stop the car.
A lot of weird traffic and a lot of kind of strange driving. Also, we got cut off a couple of times. We've had people sort of dart in front of us and weird passing on the right. I don't know if this is the back to university people going crazy, or maybe it's geezers on vacation. Who knows?
Oh no, geezers on the road.
Right. So that's wow.
What about you, Stephanie?
I find Anderson an incredibly comfortable car to ride in, and as a nervous driver and as also not a completely calm passenger these days, I really appreciate being in a car that's heavier, that's a little bit bigger, where I sit up a little bit higher so I don't feel like I'm kind of lying down on the road while all these giant cars pass me by. I feel very safe in this car, and I enjoy that. So here we are at this magnificent charging station. Wow! It would be nice if it had a roof and a garbage can.
And here we are at Tigard after a couple of aborted charging attempts. We are moving and charging at 108 kilowatts, which is not too bad at a 29% state of charge. This is a great station because it's got 8 stalls, but there's no garbage can, no roof, no squeegee, none of the things that you're used to when you pull your internal combustion engine vehicle off the road to gas up. And Volkswagen and Electrify America have invested billions and billions of dollars in this infrastructure. Invest another $100, $1,000, and put a roof over one of these suckers. So how is it? Tesla Bjorn always tells us about his food.
He's always, he's very gastronomic about it. I'm just like, it's great.
So we're at 86% state of charge. currently pulling 44 kilowatts, and time to get moving. Move on to our next station, the Sutherland Dairy Queen. Let's talk about our route and our route planning. As you've already seen, our day started at home in Coopville, then south through Whidbey Island, across on the ferry to the mainland, down through Seattle, a charging stop in Tukwila, then further south on Interstate 5 through Tacoma, Olympia, and the southern part of Washington State, into Oregon, through Portland, and our second charging stop in Tigard. Our planned route for the rest of the day goes through Salem, Eugene, a charging stop in Sutherland, and a final stop for our hotel for the night in Grants Pass. The ID4 has a navigation system built in, but its route planning capability is pretty bad. As you can see here, the route it planned from Coopville to Los Angeles had only 4 charging stops. And there's just simply no way the ID4 can go 1,200 miles with only 4 charging stops. Moreover, the stops that the ID4 picks are not always high-speed chargers. On this route, there's a stop that would have taken more than 2 hours of charging. So most ID4 owners pretty much ignore the route planning capability in the ID4 itself and rely on third-party apps. We use an app called a Better Route Planner, which is a favorite of a lot of EV drivers. You simply plot your route and your stops. The app then recommends charging stops for you based on criteria that you provide. For example, we only want to charge at Electrify America stations because we get those charges free. But the app also considers things like temperature and wind to give a reasonable estimate as to how far you can drive before you're going to need to stop and charge. It's a good system. It would be better if the system would integrate with the ID4 itself so that it could take real-time information, such as your current state of charge, and factor that in and perhaps alter your route depending on then existing conditions. But it's a Better Route Planner is great for planning. A second app we use is PlugShare. And while PlugShare has a lot of capability, the part about PlugShare we like the best is that it rates charging stations. It's kind of like Yelp for charging stations. So we try to stop at stations that are rated a 10 or close to a 10, because that indicates these stations have a reported high reliability. And a third app we're using is the Electrify America app. There's been a recent upgrade to Electrify America's app that allows it to be used on Apple CarPlay. We could use the Electrify America app in Apple CarPlay to pick the charging station we want to head next, navigate to it using Apple Maps, and once we arrive at the station, select the charger we want to use, hit a button which will authorize the charge and should allow me to simply plug the charger in and get the electricity that we want. So we'll see how all these apps work together during the course of this car trip. Oh my God, I cannot believe that car just did that. That's a propane truck.
We're seeing some really strange driving today.
So we've checked in on my Apple CarPlay, and we are scheduled to drive approximately another hour and 20 minutes to reach the Electrify America station in Sutherland, Oregon, where there's also a Dairy Queen, which we will try mightily to resist.
Yay! Well, we'll try a little bit.
About to ditch the cell phone at home and keep easy. Take the stay and everything in it without reaching. It's a short walk to the coffee shop, maybe Monday, but I'ma treat it like the weekend. Don't go looking like you got something to defend. Man, I'm surprised I haven't learned to leap the street with. Hey, what's the matter, Captain? Wondering where your team went, run out of good pleas, they ran out of good reason. Good evening, let's pick it up before you dumb it down. You see, the truth never made the talk of the town. I took a good look, watched the rest jump and drown, planning where I stand last low from the ground. Got it wrapped like medieval wedding gowns, more frequent and sequenced than handshakes and pounds. The flame outlasts your smoke break, burning out. Mirror of the city, spirit of the sound. And I'm running and living and taking and giving it, doing whatever I can to make it happen. Writing and paving it, fighting and taking a deep breath to blow fire back at the dragon. Running and living and taking and giving it, doing whatever I can to make it happen. Writing and paving it, fighting and taking a deep breath to blow fire back at the dragon. I quit the team and signed on as the mascot. Photoshop my face from the front to the backdrop. The unlikely lyricist that can't stop, cause my bike doesn't have any brakes. Now back up. Gonna go big if I'm going downhill. You can't take a sip and promise that you won't spill. The risks never outweigh the direction, and built these beautiful imperfections. Monday mornings, overtime pay, skipping classes. Understanding the big picture doesn't have the canvas. Stealing the bike to get to where you're going, and riding into oncoming traffic. Home under the chaos, cause the natural habitat is havoc. Working up in the losers.
Turn right into the
Very
parking
exciting.
lot, then arrive at your
And a Starbucks, and a DQ, and a Tractor Supply. You know, they got it all going on here.
We are rocking and rolling through this charging session. At 49% state of charge, we are still above, we just dropped slightly below 100 kilowatts. But we've taken 18 kilowatts in 10 minutes. So far, we've really had a spectacular trip. We have made excellent time. We are here hours earlier than I expected. Really no problems so far with the Electrify America network. And this particular charging stop was perfect.
There you go.
You can't keep a good man down, no matter how clever. You'll never keep a good man down. I said you can't keep a good man down, no matter how clever. You'll never keep a good man down. I said you can't keep a good man down, no matter how clever. You'll never keep a good man down. I said you can't keep a good man down, no matter how clever. You'll never keep a good man down. And I'm running and living and taking and giving it, doing whatever I can to make it happen. Writing and paving it, fighting and taking a deep breath to blow fire back at the dragon. Running and living and taking and giving it, doing whatever I can to make it happen. Writing and paving and fighting and taking a deep breath to blow fire back at the dragon.
Take the exit, then continue on to Northeast 6th Street towards City Center. Use the left lane to continue on to Northeast 6th Street towards City Center.
Wowzers. Choices.
Turn left, then the destination is on your right.